Hello, storytellers. It's Storytelling Ron. Why do the woke exist? What is the woke movement? Why? Why? Okay, so I'm here to explain that to you based on the Bible. The Bible, woke is warned in the Bible. Okay? Woke is warned in the Bible. All right, so here, let's just do this real quick. So this is an article on Breitbart about Viktor Orban, the Hungarian prime minister. He warns Christians that the European Union is pushing a LGBT whatever hedonistic paganism. My channel is all about exposing paganism in the role-playing games. Missionaries going after, and it's like D&D, but missionaries, Christians, the real fantasy of the Dark Ages. And anyway, so I mean, he's just warning that that's what they're doing. It's the entire European Union, all the organizations are, and they're threatening him with boycotts or withholding funding if he does anything else but than what they say. And this article is all about that. And but I'm going to show you one more bit with this. This is what they're pushing. This is in their schools in the European Union. This is what they're pushing. I know I'm torturing you. Oh God, that's just man. And this is, of course, Story Hour with two gay guys, and this is a government funded in Europe for children. And then this naked family sex show for 5-year-old children canceled after backlash. So this is what they're doing. It's pretty. I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here. Okay, it's just man. It's just what the. All right, so Bible's already explained this. Romans 1:18. All right, let's just go through this real quick. The wrath of God is being revealed from heaven against all the godlessness and wickedness of men who suppress the truth by their wickedness. So they're suppressing, the Bible. They're suppressing us. They have to. They have to suppress us as Christians. For what may be known about God is plain to them, because God has made it plain to them. For since the creation of the world, God's invisible qualities, his eternal power and divine nature have clearly been seen, being understood from his workmanship, so that men are without excuse. This to me is like, I'm into creation. This is like awesome because it's like, the table of elements, how atoms work, the gravity that keeps them together. It's all equational. It's all numbers being inputted because those numbers could easily be changed. How are they held together? Gravity holds them together. What the heck is gravity? Nobody even knows. Our cells, our DNA is a code. It's a written code. It's coded, decoded, and corrected in every cell. The DNA is automated. It works. It reads itself. There's proteins in there coding and decoding all the 4 letters of this language. And it's amazing what it does, like a zipper, creating and replicating and correcting and looking for errors and adding. It's a code. It's a code, a genetic code, and yet, my God, they're suppressed the truth of this. We see it, God's invisible qualities everywhere, and we're just denying it. And imagine if you created something, let's say a father, and you have some children, and they deny you, and they deny you in front of people, and people look at you and them and go, but like in today's woke pagan culture, they appease the children. They don't respect the father. They appease the children. Imagine how that father feels. For although they knew God, they glorified him as God. They neither glorified him as God, nor gave thanks to him, but they became futile in their thinking and darkened in their foolish hearts. Although they claimed to be wise, they became fools and exchanged their glory of the immortal God for images of mortal man and birds, animals, and reptiles. I love this. Although they claimed to be wise, they became fools. That's what professors are at universities. Professing to be wise. Professor is professing to be wise. That's the term. They're fools, though. I have no respect for public school teachers and professors. I just don't have respect for them. I do not respect them at all. And then of course the ones that are Christian, I respect, but I'm going to be still weary. Still going to be like, they darkened their foolish hearts, man. They're dark, and exchanged the glory of immortal gods for images of mortal man and birds and animals and reptiles. So when I do creation tours with kids, this is the lines I use to tell them when we go into that museum the Natural History Museum or the La Brea Tar Pits, I tell them about this. That they have this big monument here, but if they're not going to give thanks to God, when you walk into this museum, if there's no plaque on there giving thanks to God for creation, everything there is going to be foolish. And this is the first thing I start off with before I go in there. See, and I'll say you're going to see birds, animals, and reptiles being replacing God. So evolution replaces God with the animals. Remember, the animals are going to evolve into something superior. The animals are going to evolve into superior and superior things. I've had atheists deny that there's an evolutionary tree that evolves into, I don't debate atheists anymore in a sense because they just go off and weird. I had one tell me gorillas are just as intelligent or just as advanced as we are. I had one tell me that no, there's no God, designing anything, but there is an invisible force doing it. Okay. And it's interesting they say birds because now they're doing birds. They're doing birds now to replace dinosaurs. And now they're putting feathers on dinosaurs. This is so stupid. Oh my gosh. Putting feathers on dinosaurs now and games and movies. This is lame. Because they saw in the bones little nodules. Maybe those little nodules are primitive feathers. Maybe they're scales. Maybe they're just nodules like we have. We have nodules in our bones and stuff. Okay. Therefore, God gave them over. All right, here we go with the woke. Therefore, God gave them over in their desires of the hearts to impurity for the dishonoring of their bodies with one another. Dishonoring of their bodies. So the impurity in their hearts is you can see it outwardly, obviously, in their hair, in their tattoos, in their piercings, in their just overall physique. They exchanged the truth of God for a lie and worship and serve the creature rather than the creator who is forever worthy of praise. Amen. Their evolution worships the creature. These woke people worship creatures and animals and over God. You can see, and then you can just see their dishonoring of their bodies. Okay, with one another. For this reason, God gave them over to dishonorable passions. I'm a Calvinist. God chooses who he wants to be free from sin, and the rest are addicted to their sin. They're addicted to porn, they're addicted to drugs, they're addicted to their anger, they're addicted to their selfishness, they're addicted to their demons control them. For this reason, God gave them over to dishonorable passions. Even their women exchanged natural relations for unnatural ones. Lesbianism, gay, homosexuality. Likewise, the men abandoned natural relations with women and burned with lust for one another. So that's what we see. Men committed indecent acts with other men and received in themselves the due penalty of their error. So HIV, yes. I remember when HIV first came out and how there was, some televangelists saying that that's, the wrath of God. And they were attacked so much. Like, that was more attacked than the actual homosexuals spreading HIV. Homosexuals spreading HIV was fine, but televangelists saying this is the wrath of God poured out on people committing sin was the most evil thing in their minds. And to this day, and even California, it's protected. You can actually spread HIV in California legally. It's actually protected under law. You're not responsible for spreading HIV even when you know it. But of course, they come after you if they think you might have spread COVID or whatever. We've been locked down because of COVID, but not HIV. And by the way, HIV now is being protected also under the same drug people who make the COVID vax. They are using drugs now to keep people, keep HIV in omission or remission, but you can still spread it. So now more and more of the gay community can be frivolous in their sex, promiscuous in their sex, as they always have been, and spread HIV, but now they have to get this drug. And this drug, by the way, is being financed through that and through Democrats. So they have to vote Democrat. The gay community has to vote Democrat because they have to have this drug. Okay. Furthermore, since they did not see fit to acknowledge God, he gave them over to depraved mind to do what ought not to be done. They have become filled with every kind of wickedness, evil, greed, and depravity. So even amongst each other, they are full of envy, murder, strife, deceit, and malice. They are gossips, slanderers, God-haters, insolent, arrogant, and boastful. They invent new forms of evil. They disobey their parents. They are senseless, fatherless, or faithless, heartless, merciless. So that's what we're up against. Although they know God's righteous decree that those who do such things are worthy of death, they not only do these things, but also approve of those who practice them. So the woke will do this. They will basically, this is tyranny over us. They're mini gods. They want to control us. They want to shut us down, destroy us as Christians or as free, or if you're living a life that, of your own, like the Just Stop Oil. They want to attack you and stop you. They want to stop your life, your livelihood, your speech. Like if I can't, they want to shut me down as far as talking, and bringing this out and warning them who they are. And God is making them do this. God is in control. He's in control of my salvation and he gives me grace, but he's also in the ergo, thusly, he's in control of the evil and the wicked. And so you're like, well, what? If you love God, then you know and accept this and you're fine with it. If you don't love God, or if you don't accept this, that God is in control, then okay, there we go. So what's the solution? The solution is, sadly, the Bible does give us a solution. My solution as Ron is to, get angry and attack and all that. But the solution that Jesus has and the Bible has is, you got to be at peace. You got to be at peace with this. Go to church, join a church. And like I said in other videos, join a church and support it, but make sure the pastor is opening up his Bible on the sermon right there, and he's reading passages and discussing those passages. Don't go to a church where, let's talk about love. Let's talk about openness. Let's talk about financing and giving money to the church. A pastor that talks about themes, no, because that means that person is the God, the little mini God. You don't want to go to church like that. You want to go to church where they can have a theme, but it's based on long passages in the Bible, not on them doing a theme and then picking out verses. No, don't do that. Don't go to a church like that. Go to a church where the pastor opens the Bible and it's going through, not cutting out stuff. It's going through a long period passage and explaining it. That's the kind of church you want to go to. That's a good start anyway. And if you're of God, God will lead you to the right church. If you're of God, God will lead. He did with me. I didn't even know. Literally, I was led to the 3 churches. I didn't even know what I was just, something's wrong with this church. Second church, something's wrong with this church. It took me a couple of years too. And I still went towards a church that's biblical. And I didn't even know I was doing that. Just something wrong with this church. I got to go somewhere else. Something's going on here. Okay. So that's my little thing on what the woke is. It's already been explained in the Bible. It's already been warned of. The solution is to join a church, because in the church you will then maybe find ways with humility and patience. And me, I'm figuring out that I need to hide away in my little home here with YouTube, because I'm kind of nutso. And I've been told by another church member I've got no filter. So when I'm at church or when I'm in groups there, I don't have a filter, so I just start doing. So I'm trying to as the black sheep of the church, I'm trying to give the church some peace by me not bugging them all. So but yeah, I'm doing these little YouTube channels, and that's it. That's my solution. I don't have any other solution. I can't. God's in control. He's doing it. He's setting the playing pieces out, the field, the time, the factor, what's going on. You got to be at peace with what's going on. But again, I'd say join a church, help it out if you can, support it, get your family in there. A good church, and they're hard to come by. I know. And be at peace, because what else can you do? God's will. God's in control. All right. That's it. And remember, in the game of life, roll holy dice. I'm going to start up some games soon with some friends and put them on YouTube. I'm just getting back my health. I had a huge chronic gout for 5 months, and I'm going through and getting. But anyway, I'll get some other videos on that. But I'm working. I'm waking back up, getting better. All right.